Hello, welcome to my cake kitchen. I'm Gladys, and if you see me for the first time, over here we make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. Today we're making Swiss meringue buttercream. I made a batch earlier in the week, and I have already made so much Swiss meringue buttercream. I've even answered some of your most pressing questions about Swiss meringue buttercream. So if you're watching this for the first time, I'm just going to talk you through how to make Swiss meringue buttercream, especially if you're a beginner. But there are videos awash on the channel showing you how to make Swiss meringue buttercream rather easily, and I will entreat you to go watch that. This is just a very chill session because failing making the Swiss meringue buttercream with you, I may not even be here, and I don't want to break my promise of delivering value whenever possible. So Thursdays are normally not my days to be here, but I missed yesterday for some unplanned reasons that overwhelmed my day. There's Mina back in the chat. Hello there, and all of you. So yeah, if I look a little bit like it's because I'm feeling like because it's cold. It's cold. But anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Okay, it is so cold outside, like I'm literally like, oh, can we just do something else? So thank you. You said I look good in that outfit. Christmas is coming. I'm probably going to go shopping for some Christmas jumpers so that we can do Christmas better. So Mina, thank you. Great to have you back, and you're the only one here. Don't worry, it's just you and I. Look, I live to serve an audience of one, even if that's all. Because one person, what do you mean? It's just you and I. We're going to have a good time. Imagine going to a restaurant. Would you want to have dinner with 100 people? Probably not. Just one person is all you need. So Mina, just stick around and let's get this done, okay? And if some people join in, that's fine. I don't think anybody was expecting me. Plus, I didn't update the community post because the day has been moving so quickly. Tony, okay, we have company. Tony is in the chat. Tony, hello. Thank you for stopping by. Mina, how is your day and what's up with you? What are you doing? Look, we are going to do this and then leave it to whisk in the mixer. If you wonder what's happening here, it's egg whites. I said eggs. Egg whites and some sugar, which I am going to whip. I am slow cooking over the double boiler to a safe temperature of 165 degrees F, which is equivalent to 71 degrees C. And then we'll transfer that into our mixing bowl to whisk into a meringue before we add our butter. I've already shared tips on how to get a great result from Swiss meringue buttercream already, so I won't belabor the point. If you want to know how to make Swiss meringue buttercream, I have already gone ahead and done a video on that covering everything you need to know. So yeah, Mina says I'm having a good day. Up to nothing. I'm eating whilst watching you. Well, I wonder, what are you eating? Is that chocolate? No. I can't find my go find your earphones, okay? Go find your earphones. The good thing is that we'll be here when you find them. I keep losing mine. This morning I was running around trying to find my earphones, and then I eventually found it. So yeah. 22 people in the chat. Hello, 22 people. Those of you who love to sit on the fence, here's a polite request. If you don't mind, you can like the video just to kind of tell YouTube you have been here, okay? Because the aim is to teach you how to make cakes, whether you're making cakes or you're making buttercream, you're making ganache. We were continuing our ganache series, and if you haven't seen it, we wanted to kind of cover a cake in the last video, and boy, how much trouble was that? So much trouble, but we did it and the cake was done. I posted the cake in the community post. If you have a minute, you can go check it and see how we went from the trouble of a textured ganache to the success of a cake. I mean, I couldn't decorate the cake on a live because I had to wake up at 4 a.m. Can you imagine? 4 a.m. I was exhausted on Tuesday by the time I was done. But here we are, okay? Here we are. Was it? Yeah, that was the dawn of yesterday. So Tuesday coming on to Wednesday. Tony says, I am hungry. Tony, go find something to eat. Unfortunately, we are not cooking. We are making buttercream, okay? We're making Swiss meringue buttercream. So, Tony, if you're that hungry, look, I only have some Ghanaian snacks here. But this might not be anything you would know, okay? This is not sponsored, by the way. I mean, the society has such distrust for us content creators that if anything shows on screen, we literally have to clarify our position. And this right here is not sponsored, okay? I am not trying to subtly recommend you any item without declaring my relationship with it. No, this is a Ghanaian snack that I love to buy, and it's plantain chips. I don't know if you know plantain chips, but I'm not going to go into a lecture about it. So let's just go on. All right. Mina says, I would never wake up so early. I would let everything go to hell and have my beauty. Darling. And you think I don't know that? And you think I don't want that? Me too. Except if I let it go to hell, you know what will happen? There will be a small claims dispute in my post seeking me out to come and pay for the cake that has been ordered, and my business reputation will be in tatters. It is bad enough, okay, Mina? It is bad enough that I hardly even get to respond to customers inquiring about cakes. I do not want to make it into the territory of not honoring the orders that has been paid for, honey, okay? So yes, are you kidding me? I would love some beauty sleep too. But no, I woke up at 4 a.m. I woke up at 4. I picked my son because kids, even though they have their own rooms, as soon as they hear like movement, they wake up and suddenly I'm scared. So when I wake up and my son wakes up, that's it. So at 4 a.m. when he came running down the stairs, like, Mama, I'm scared. I'm like, dude, come and sleep in the lounge whilst I get to work, okay? I got one kid. Do I not look like I've got a kid, Mina? I've got a son. If you've been here that long, you must have heard us talk about little producer. He's the little producer of the stream sometimes. Sometimes he's behind the camera and he talks and responds to comments. He's 8. He's 8. But we try not to make him the subject of the channel because the channel is not about kids. The channel is about us. But it's because he's very popular on the channel simply because he's behind the camera sometimes, and he I think the knowledge of him exists widely in this space, but we don't discuss him or anything like that, you know, just as a privacy notice to protect him, and also not to kind of like put him in front of the audience when he has specifically told me, Mama, I don't want to be a part of what you do. I'm like, you know, I get you. I'm a cake maker. I'm not a family content creator who centers the subject about my son and anything else, but I'm a mom. That's the whole point. I'm a mom, and that's a fact I can state without even having to discuss him. So yeah, I'm sure you are. But yeah, yesterday 4 a.m. having to wake up and finish that cake. The comments I got in the community post going, oh, how beautiful it was. I'm like, I wasn't feeling beautiful making that cake, people. I was feeling all kind of different. Mina, Mina, flattery will get you anywhere. Thank you. Okay. Mina says you don't look like, I look so young. Mina, if I told you, I mean, we discuss age here. I think I'm old enough to have had 4 kids at least. Okay. I just have the one. So yes, whilst I may not look like I do, flattery will get you anywhere, honey. Mina says, I love when streamers have their kids with them. It adds sparkles to the video. Well, it depends. It depends. Look, I am not against it for other people who do it. I think people have their sincere reasons for doing things. Genuinely, my content is not centered on anything other than the fact that I'm a cake maker, okay? The part where, you know, I'm a mom is like a passing conversation, right? Because you're essentially in my home kitchen where I bake from. So sometimes life happens. I mean, the entire community knows my friendships with some of my neighbors, right? I literally jump out here and start talking to the neighbors, and then I leave you here. And I have had post delivered here, and I've had the postman knock on the door. I think because it's a home environment, I don't tend to kind of like almost cut you out of it. So what is allowed, but what is not necessary isn't. And as a matter of fact, I don't intend to make my son a part of an online presence. That's not me, but I'm not against people who do. So I think each individual preference and boundary matters, and in this particular circumstance, I just want my son to be able to make the choice for himself, but more than anything, to be able to just focus on what I have as a skill. And even as a content creator and a streamer, my content surrounds much of what I do as a cake maker, and not about me as a person. The parts that you know about me as a person are just things that I would meet a stranger and tell at the bus stop. Simple things like it creates connection, relatability. It kind of makes me accessible to you. But I don't know if I want to come on the internet and spill my guts about me. And if I wasn't making cakes, I don't think I'd be on the internet. I'm not sure I'd be here doing anything. Like, I have nothing to tell you. I don't have clothes to throw at you. Maybe I'm just shit at this job. I don't know. Besides making cakes, maybe I'm shit at everything else. That's all. Lollipop. No, Mina. I wasn't offended at all. I think it's kind of a good conversation to have anyway sometimes. And I think we've spoken about this before. Maybe you missed it. I talk about it a lot here. I know that, look, do you not think if my son was older, I wouldn't be happy to introduce him to the people? Yeah, but it's not something he wants, and I respect that. And I really don't want to make him the focus of what I'm doing also, because maybe I'm blessed enough to have something going that I enjoy, that brings me here. And if this wasn't available, I'll probably not be here. That's all. But I'm not offended, just so you know. I just feel like the conversation is important, and I appreciate you bringing it up. Oh, no. I mean, Overthinkers Club, you're welcome. We all overthink sometimes. If you wonder what this is, we have cream of tartar. It unsticks the egg white proteins, makes the egg whites with butter, and gives you better meringue results. Okay, I see our very loyal Lollipop in the chat. Lollipop darling, when I eventually decided to show up here today, I thought about you. I'm like, look, if you see me looking like this without my eyelashes, it's like it's been a real good old long day. Okay, I was like, oh, well, I'll tell you about my eyelashes in a minute. Why I don't have them, I'll tell you. Did I tell you I didn't want to come and spill my guts? Yeah, I can tell you about my eyelashes in a minute, okay? That's not spilling my gut. That's just keeping things real with you, okay? Let's get this in the bowl. And by the way, Lorraine. Oh, Lorraine, hello. Hello. Oh, you're in the UK. Hello, my UK people. Well, hello back, darling. Which part of the UK are you? You better be somewhere in England. But because I have quite a few Scottish viewers, I have Northern Ireland viewers and different sorts of people. So yeah, great to have you. Let me plug this in. Oh dear. Right. Just so you know, this bowl needs degreasing before you whip your meringue. You need to degrease it. So for me, I washed it, cleaned it out, all with vinegar, clear vinegar. That, because any grease residue in the bowl will spell disaster for your meringue, right? So I'm gonna South Wales. Okay. I think Wales, that's the first time. South Wales. How are you? There you go. So we're going to try and whip that. I'll move that out of the shot a little bit. But if you're just joining us, I've said it before that I make Swiss meringue buttercream, and I've made it a lot of the time. And last time we made a batch not too long ago, I think about 2 videos away from here. If you are watching this today, if you go back to the live library, I think 2 videos from this one is a full video breaking down the process, the ingredients, how to fix issues, and everything else in between. So you can check that video there. But right now I'm gonna whip this whilst I talk to you. If it gets too noisy, I'll move it away from the shop. It's a little bit loud. Right. Lollipop was saying I look lovely without my eyelashes. I don't mind. Like, I don't live in a place of perfection or constantly yearning to look pretty. Okay? That's not where I exist. But in the name of keeping things real with you, look, I'm going to move this away from here. I'm going to move this away from here, and then I'll talk to you, because it just feels like I'm screaming at you. I know you probably can't feel it, but we'll bring it back when it finishes. Dana, there is Dana from the US, and there is Favor from Nigeria. Oh my goodness, all you good people, thank you for stopping by. And if you wonder what we're doing, we're making Swiss meringue buttercream, but I have already made the entire process, answering the frequently asked questions about how to get best result from Swiss meringue buttercream. It's in the live library, 2 videos from this one, or a video or 2. Go check it out. It's all up there. I am just making another batch because I need to top up on my Swiss meringue buttercream. But I just thought I'll be here more so for a chill session, because the sessions this week have been a bit heavy, as in they have been very class focused, and I have ignored the part where I can interact with you. So this is a good chance to kind of catch up with you. If you see me for the first time, I'm your cake auntie on the internet. Hey, great to have you. All you new people, thank you for stopping by. Now, just a recap of our scheduling. Our lives are Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and then we have a long form Thursday, Sunday. 2 videos a week, 3 live videos a week, and 2 long form videos a week. Then we have shorts, which are kind of like scattered in between. It's neither here nor there, but every day at least you are likely to find some video on the channel in some form of format. So if you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing. And if you're meeting me for the first time, here's my very simple proposition to you in terms of value. Why should you stay here? Well, you have a reason not to, but if I can convince you to stay, my simple value proposition to you is to bring you simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate all things cake. So if you're a complete beginner who has no idea about how to bake anything, but you yearn to bake a cake, stop with us, because whether I am making hyper-realistic cakes, simple cakes, or the absolute fine decoration of a cake, I break the process down, bringing you intention, explaining each process, and bringing you my own skills in various ways to enhance your knowledge of cake baking and decorating. And so for that, I hope I have convinced you. Besides the subject of cake, which is the primary value to give you, we bring you value in different forms. I mean, we are a positive community here, and we check up on each other, we keep in touch with each other, and we hold space for each other through life-changing circumstances, whether you're having a bad day, or your boss is not acting right, or the kids are not being good. Look, we have different people, different life experiences, but we all hold a shared value here to be kind, respect each other, and look after each other. So if you're not even a cake maker, but you just want a positive community that will serve as a distraction from the chaos of your own life, you're welcome. Okay? That beside. Mina says she can't hear me. I am glad you can't because half of the time this thing is so loud. Okay. Okay, let's let this finish whipping and I'll talk to you. How is that? Right, for a moment I thought I could talk to you, but I almost feel like I'm screaming at a screen, and I can see in the chat that most of you cannot hear me. Mina says she can't hear me. So you know what? I'm going to stop talking and let's get the buttercream done. Okay, let's get it done. It will be done soon and then we can talk. Okay, so just stick around, don't leave. But everything I said is that just stay with us because we have more value for you than you'd ever know. Okay, just stick around. Let's get this sorted. I am just thinking, since I'm not going to be talking over you, let's just focus right now. Dawn is back. Dawn. There is Dawn in the chat. And a few of our new people, Favor and is it Dana? And a few other people who were in the chat earlier. I am so sorry. The noise was a little bit loud, okay? So I couldn't talk to you. And whatever I was saying, it just felt like I was screaming at the empty space. So please bear with me. And if you're just joining us, we're making Swiss meringue buttercream. One of the key parts of making Swiss meringue buttercream is making sure that you get the meringue to stiff peaks, and that is where we are headed. Okay, we need to whip this to stiff peaks. It's almost there, but what I need to do is let it whip whilst the bowl cools. Most of the Swiss meringue recipes, Swiss meringue buttercream recipes you will find on the internet, except a few that I personally know of, do not take the time to actually explain each process that helps you get the best results. So for instance, the whisking of the meringue doesn't necessarily, it's not so much for the meringue making process itself. It is also about cooling the meringue to touch so that it is appropriate for you to add the butter. Because even if you whip the meringue to stiff peaks as recommended and the meringue still is warm, when you add the butter, it will fall apart and then you have a soupy mix, which then becomes problematic. It's easy to fix. Just because your butter broke and your meringue turned soupy doesn't make it a bad batch. In fact, when that happens, just put it back in the fridge and then it will re-solidify, and then you whip it up and then you get your meringue. The thing though is that if you're a complete beginner undertaking this process without understanding each key part and transformation, you're likely to get things wrong and then you'll panic. I cannot tell you the number of times I've come across questions on how a batch of Swiss meringue buttercream yielded wrong because the beginner didn't understand what to look out for. So whilst we are aiming to get this to stiff peaks, we are also wanting it to kind of cool. Another thing also is, even if you do get the meringue holding together, it's really important you make it to the stiff peaks, because the stiff peaks means that the bind is better and stronger, and it will support a better outcome for your buttercream. Because without doing that, what will happen is that you will have water particles floating in, and then you either have to add more butter to kind of aid your buttercream result, which then will make your buttercream very buttery in terms of mouthfeel, or you might end up with a loosely textured buttercream that doesn't hold properly. There are very small, minute details in the process, but I kind of think it's important to let you know. But without having to shout at the screen, I'm going to go back to whisking this. I mean, in 10 minutes time, we should be done, because the key thing is to get this to the right temperature and then to add the butter. Once I add the butter, I can whip that later on my own time if I choose to. But if you want to know how to make Swiss meringue buttercream, I have already covered that for you. Auntie Jackie is in the chat. Welcome back, Auntie. How are you? Let's get in here. Lovely as always. Oh, great to hear that. Me, by the grace of God, I'm hanging in here, okay? Let me just finish this and maybe I can save some time for us to talk, because this is so loud. It's like I have to go, hello! Right, so let's have a look again. Auntie J, I saw the message that said keep hanging in there, honey. That's all I gotta do with some grace, you know. I wake up every morning, and when the morning goes, I'm like, it's another day. But you know what is even better about my mornings? I wake up with contentment and peace. There were days in years gone where the morning breaks and I just feel anxious. I don't want to look. You know, some days when you wake up, right, and you just don't want to be bothered by life's problems. Okay? There were years past where I used to feel that way. And when the morning comes and you're like, I don't want to be bothered by life's problems, and I don't want to do this. And it doesn't mean it is not as bad as it sounds. As in, I know people have real issues where they feel like they don't want to be here anymore. That's not me, just clarifying that because that's important. But some days you're just overwhelmed by life's changing circumstances. You're like, can we just switch this thing off for a minute so I don't have to do the school run? I don't have to face this boss. I don't want to go to this place I go to that I call a job every day. Okay, in times gone, that was me. It's not me anymore. But whatever is happening, I wake up every day with a sense of contentment, because when you've been through so many changes and situational developments in your life, I think you build muscle. Yeah, that's all. So we're all right. Dawn says, at 63, I'm glad I wake up. No, I am trying not to scream at you at all. So no. Right, there we go. The meringue is done. We're going to add some sugar in here. The last time I was making this buttercream, I did say the sugar, the part where you add the sugar is it's not specific. You can add it to the meringue before the butter, or you can add the butter before the sugar. It doesn't really matter. But I have the sugar now, so I'm going to add it now and let that whisk in. Now, most recipes may not have sugar, and the point of making Swiss meringue buttercream is not to have sugar because you don't want to make it sweet. For the quantity of ingredients, this is about 100 grams of icing sugar. It just gives you such a balanced mouthfeel, doesn't make it too buttery, and cancels out the buttery mouthfeel that is innate with Swiss meringue buttercream. So I'm just gonna add this here. Hello, friend. People, I'm coming, okay? Hello. Hello, lovely. How are you? Yep, it's very cold, Albert. It's very, very cold. Maybe you should go with Daddy now, okay? So you don't get really cold, okay? Right? You won't get cold. Look, well, Daddy, are you ready? Pick a seat so he can hang out, okay? See you later. What? Yeah. You're gonna have to. Let's get through this weekend first, Albert. Okay? Love you. Bye. People, I told you you're in my home. That's my neighbor. That's Albert. He's 5. He's my bestie. He passes by, and you know, sometimes when the parents are like, we don't want him to have cakes anymore. He's too young and the sugar is too much, because his parents are very healthy people and they're lovely. His mom bought me, look, I have a video up there somewhere. You'll find it. It was last week's video where his mom bought me a lovely present. It's a drink. I don't drink. We'll probably be using that for Christmas content, okay? They are just lovely people. We don't, look, I'd love to show you who Albert is, but we have a simple rule here. Leave the kids alone. So you will hear about Albert. We'll talk about Albert, but we may never put Albert over here, okay? We just want to respect Albert's, because to want to put him over here, it's either I have to be the weirdo who just disregards his privacy and mom's maybe thoughts about it and just willingly put him there, or I'm going to have to ask him. And I just don't think they have been invited to be a part of this thing we have going on here. So that is just my small disclaimer to say I would love to show you who Albert is. He's a cutie. He's a cutie. But no, let's dream about what Albert looks like, because he's just a happy bundle of joy, and every time he passes by he stops. The innocence of kids never gets old. So yeah, that's my Albert. But that is just by the way. We love Albert over here. So sugar in there. Let's whip. Anthony is asking, what are you making? Anthony, I'm making Swiss meringue buttercream. Now it's time to add the butter. If you check the last video, you'll find how I went in on the consistency of butter needed. So go check that out. I'm just adding the butter a little bit at a time, and then we can get this all mixed up. Right, there you go. Now, if you get the consistency of your butter right, the soupy or curdly nature of your buttercream should not be an issue at all, which is what I have done here. But as part of the process, at some point your buttercream will look like it's broken. It's not. It's the butter trying to mix into the meringue. So it's like a fat and water type of mixture. It will break up a little bit before it comes together. When you see this consistency, all you have to do is keep whipping. Just keep going and it will come together. All I'm doing now, if you're wondering what's happening here, is I'm just trying to get everything mixed together, and then I'll get the whisk back in to kind of whisk so that it will come together. At this point, if your buttercream is kind of broken because your meringue was warm, you put it back in the fridge for the butter to re-solidify, and then you whip. But if it's curdled, at this point you can either introduce some heat, either set the bowl back on the double boiler to kind of warm the bowl up a bit, or just introduce some form of heat to it. Sometimes people will recommend a steamer or a hair dryer just to blow some warm air on the bowl. Fixing Swiss meringue buttercream is very straightforward. There are two things that would happen. Either it's broken or curdled. Either one is easily fixable. But if you don't know what you're doing, you'll be stuck in a loop of the thing like curdling or melting, and then you'll be going back and forth not knowing what to do. I've already discussed that in details in previous videos, all for you to see. So what am I going to use this for? Let me just finish this quickly. I will tell you what is coming up next week in terms of cake land for me, and I am scared shitless, people. I am scared, okay? Whilst that is going, I'm going to add some salt. The salt is just a taste enhancer. And then whilst the salt is going in, we're going to add some vanilla as well. I'm whisking this a little bit so that it will expand the batter and change the mouthfeel to a very light and rich mouthfeel, because without the air, it just feels like a lump of butter. But once it all comes together, I'm going to swap to a paddle attachment. Okay, there you go. I think for what it's worth, the buttercream is done. Let's just have a taste of it, and then I'll move it out of the shop, and then we will just switch to a paddle attachment. That's it, all done. Now, to answer the simple question, what am I going to use this for? I have a 3-tier hexagon cake top forward. If that sounds like a mouthfeel to pronounce, it is a hell of a work to do, okay? That is for next week, okay? Next week, Saturday. So this is like the base work. I have, I think 2 vanilla, whatever. I'll come back and discuss that in detail, because I'm taking you through the process. How it's a gravity defying 3-tier cake, and it's going to be a hexagon. So we're talking clean lines, we're talking shapes. And I've got to bring my A game forward. Okay, so that's what we are going. So this is all in preparation for that cake. I think that cake has kind of thrown my Christmas plan awry a little bit, but I'm hoping by the time December rolls around, if not for anything, at least I'll get my Christmas jumpers together so we can show up looking like it's Christmas. That's all. But otherwise, I know that lots of you in the US at the moment are planning for your Thanksgiving weekend. So hats off to you, and we're wishing you a great time and a lot to be thankful for. Maybe you should tell us what you were thankful for if you were going to be enjoying Thanksgiving. I'm moving the buttercream out of shop just so that, you know, I can talk to you. Okay, let that cream. No, I'm not going to. I will just let. One second. Okay. Something is happening to the mixer. I will leave the mixer over there. We'll get back to the buttercream in a minute when we are done, because the whole point of today was just to have a relaxed session whilst also catching up with you, because the week has been so busy. So yeah, the screaming I was doing when Mina said, oh, stop screaming at the screen or something like that, all I was saying was that I recognize there are some new faces in, like Anthony and the rest of you. And yeah, if it's your first time, we hope you get some value. And I was just saying, it's not just cake. The primary value proposition is always to serve you anything cake related and to empower you with simple, informative tutorials so you can get the best results in your own kitchen. Consider this a cake resource center where you can come and learn about anything cake related. And I'm not just showing you how to bake. I bring you all the intentions surrounding my choices, the ingredients, what they do, explaining each process wherever possible. And if you ever jump into a video like today when I am not geeking on all the subjects and overwhelming you with information, that is simply because I've done it already. Right? Because Swiss meringue buttercream has been done on this channel. It's my primary buttercream of choice, next to French buttercream. These are my two buttercream options that I use in my business. But I don't even cover my cakes in buttercream generally. I normally use ganache, a subject at the moment we are covering in great detail. This evening there should have been a video out. I'm strapped for time, so check it out tomorrow. It will be ganache ratios explained. I'm explaining all the ratios in its science form and bringing you some extra information that I know is not available on the platform anywhere. Just so that when you chance on the subject matter, which is connected to cake in some form, all the questions that you may be having are answered in practical ways. Which means if you're asking why is a 3-to-1 ganache better than say a 4-to-1 or a 1-to-1, I explain all of that. And I'm not just showing you how to make ganache, I'm showing you how to make my ganache that I use for customer cakes that derives the exact results that you see on the channel, polished, outstanding and pretty looking cakes. The whole point is to kind of bring you all of that. I don't gatekeep, okay? I've been advised to keep some things for myself. I'm like, look, the subject of cake is so wide in itself that if I only ever picked one subject, which for instance may be vanilla sponge cake, we could discuss that an entire lifetime and never be done. So as much as I bring you every information about cake making, I bring you the information based on what I actually experience on a daily basis in my own life as a cake maker. Do you know what I mean? So I am hoping that will empower you to be able to develop your own knowledge and then build up on it. Do I realize that not everyone who is watching me is going to be a business owner? Of course I do. But if you love cakes enough to be able to share it with, be it your family or the extended people around you, at least I will be of some use to you. In fact, my goal is not targeting business people who want to create cakes as a business, because that is an entire different category that if I was to reconsider my business plan or business intention, this might not even exist. Because if you want to run a business, then the requirements are slightly different, because over here I show you how to make cakes. I bring you some of the aspects of cake business, but from my own experience, business is more about the psychology of the person doing it than it is teaching you. I could never teach you to be a successful business owner, because at this moment in time there are books in the library, there are coaches who are around selling you any and every knowledge about business. Something I don't feel like I'm completely equipped to even start teaching. What I can show you though in terms of business is how to communicate with your customer, how to position yourself so that your customer will derive value from you, and how to continuously deliver that value consistently. And that's a completely different module. And I have reason to know from the statistics of my analytics, most of you are just like when I started baking. I just enjoyed the subject of baking, and I just was curious enough to develop it to a point where I now run it as a business on the side. So with that said, cakes are not the only primary source of value that we bring. The general value also connected with the channel is the community we have here, which is a very positive community. So if you're not even into cakes, never mind, we're still here. You'll find Lollipop, Auntie Jackie, Dawn, everyone else in the chat, and somehow you end up as friends in the chat and you keep each other company. And half of the time when I come and I'm yapping to the screen and I ignore you to the side, you find company with each other. We hold space for each other on a good day, on a bad day, and we all share the simple value of being respectful, kind, and supporting each other. So you're welcome, okay? But if you just see me for the first time, hey, I am Gladys. I love cakes, okay? Have I told you that? I guess you figured it out. So let's see what you're saying to me in the chat. I thought I had to take a call. Oh, that's okay, Jackie. We still look. Life happy. Half of the time, I'm even wondering, where am I? Okay. So, yep. Let me just wash my hands and grab a seat. It's been very quiet, hasn't it? Well, quiet is good, Auntie J, isn't it? Okay. Let's see. Well, Dawn, I did see in the chat where you said at 63 you're just happy to be what, awake. Is that is that what I read? Did I read it halfway or I read the full thing? God. Right, let's see. Tabitha is not here today, people. Right, for those of you who are planning on, Auntie J, what are you guys doing for what do you call it, Thanksgiving? It's this weekend, isn't it? It's going to be a lot of food and great company and family and memory. My American audience, if you're in the US, let's see, show by hand, say hello to us so we can say hello back and see what you're doing for Thanksgiving. I mean, we don't do Thanksgiving here, but we're still looking forward to Christmas. Are we all set for Christmas? I need to go get my Christmas tree out. Dawn says at 63, I'm happy to wake up in the morning. Dawn, we are with you on that. Aren't we all grateful? Look, we take time for granted. I think, was it yesterday or no, yesterday I wasn't here. The day before we had 2 new friends here. I forgot their names, but they were in the chat. We had a 70-year-old, I think, and then a 64. The conversation just got a little bit deep about, you know, having losses and, you know, losing close family members. I think one of them lost their mom at 43. The conversation was so heartening, but it reminded us the importance of kind of just cherishing the time you have, you know, and loving on your loved ones. So, yep, we don't want to make it a boring and scary time, but look, Thanksgiving is here, so if you have loved ones, cherish them, not just on Thanksgiving. Okay, not just on Thanksgiving. Oh, Lollipop, it's been a busy day. What have you been doing? Like tending to the toddler. It's been so busy for me to like my morning has been like every hour of it has been up to something. Just it was just after 2, between 2 and 2:25 that I took a break, and then I had to prep because I also wasn't sure if I was going to make the live because I had so much happening in the background, and I thought I could do without. But then once I start getting into the habit of, oh no, let's not, that's how I become inconsistent. So I thought, okay, let's come back, make the buttercream, get it out of the way. Let me catch up with you guys a little bit because I'm not here tomorrow. I don't know what the weekend looks like. I might show up, but if I mean, my 3 commitments for lives have been exhausted this week, right? I was here on Monday, Tuesday. I wasn't here yesterday, but yesterday's loss was today, is today. So that's 3 days of lives. And then today's long form video will probably be out tomorrow, and then we'll prep for Sundays, and in between we'll have our shorts and what have you. So if you don't see me on the weekend, you're not missing anything. But hopefully the weekend will be the start of the prep work for the gravity defying cake, because then I have to create the board and the feet and all that stuff. I want to bring you along the entire process just so that you can see what the gravity defying cake looks like to make. Where is Auntie Jackie's mod status? Auntie J, I don't know what's happened. You know what? What's happened? I have no idea. Auntie J, I will have a look for you, please. I am just seeing, now that you've just said, I've seen that Lollipop's blue status is there, but yours isn't. I don't know what's happened. YouTube is playing up these days. Did you see my last post where, first of all, in the beginning of the month, YouTube decided to kind of, something happened and I couldn't access the...
Mama,
yes, baby.
can I have a chocolate roll?
Yes, I'll bring you a chocolate roll in a minute. Give me about 10 minutes, yeah? I'll get it sorted for you. Do you mind?
I didn't hear that.
Give me about 10 minutes. I'll get it for you. Is that...
Okay.
Yeah. Auntie J, I'll get on it for you, please. Because YouTube is playing up real bad. It's like, what is happening? But you know what? I don't want to be a complaining bugger over here, okay? I don't know what's happened. But if you look at YouTube from my point of view, as in a creator's point of view, so many creators, even the big ones alike, are complaining about views and a lack of notes. I think the system for YouTube has changed. But I don't believe I'm an expert. I just know that there's a problem innate with YouTube because I experience it. But I also realize that it's a business for whoever developed the platform. And over time, they have to play catch up on things. So it's neither here nor there. But that is just to say, Auntie J, I have just noticed. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I will check and fix that for you. Okay? Hopefully, YouTube is not putting a default... a default measure on who can moderate, because that will be mad, because the moderator thing was activated by myself. I have hardly been on my desk to even think about doing anything else, so I can see. So I am hoping YouTube hasn't gone and for some reason reset the mod statuses. So I'll check who is there. There's you, there is Star Pither, and can I even yeah, there is Nick. I'll check for you. Okay. Lynette is here. Hi, Lynette. Great to have you. And yeah, Auntie J, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? That was the question I was asking. Let me go and sort this guy some. He wants a chocolate sandwich. Let me sort that for him whilst we're talking, because a sister is tired. Okay. They are. You know what? As a creator, once you get into the mindset of, I mean, it's a problem. It has become a problem. Can I just keep it real with you? Like, if I didn't love what I was doing for good reason, I wouldn't be on YouTube. And if I was doing YouTube just for the money, I wouldn't be on YouTube. It's not worth it anymore. Okay. But maybe I speak from a point of view that I will tell you this. I haven't, as a person, I don't think I'm an expert on YouTube as in YouTube itself. I don't think so. I am a cake maker who likes to chat about cakes, and I'm here talking to you. Anything else, I don't know. So I will probably tell you, maybe my failing quality is that I have fallen short of equipping myself with the knowledge of how to succeed on YouTube. And that's true. Like, if that exists, then perhaps I am failing, because I don't do trendy videos. Have you seen a trendy video here? No, I don't do trendy videos. Should I? Maybe yes. I don't know, right? But I do not even know. I don't have a video. Have you seen our views? Like, my highest watch videos are usually shorts, and the shorts audience are completely different. If you want to succeed at YouTube and you're making shorts, it's a completely different strategy. But when it comes to the strategy of YouTube, I am completely inept, okay? I know nothing about strategy. What I know is that I have a skill and I love something and I come to talk to you about it. But I know also that is not enough to succeed into millions of views and make a hell of good money. I know that. So I can almost accept that my failing quality is that I am still inept at the business of YouTube. So if I tell you that YouTube is not worth it for the money, that is because I have a failing quality that I identify, which is that maybe how people make millions on YouTube, I don't know, okay? But at this moment in time, if you look at my library, I have nearly 1,100 videos since the start of YouTube. And give or take, on average, if I put it together, even though I've been on YouTube for the last 4 years, the last 18 months has been my most consistent in terms of value and polishing my skill and bringing you the subject of cake in a very informative manner. The first 2 years were just like gameplay and just finding my feet. So that doesn't count. So on average, let's say I have done YouTube consistently, like for the last 18 months. And in that 18 months, if I look at it across board, I have an entire solid library of 1,100 views, okay? 1,100 videos across all formats, which is short, which is my most in terms of format production, and then long form. But the short stands neck and neck with the live videos because the live videos have increased in consistency. And can I tell you, if I can show you the fact, as of this month, I think my going income is about £40.98. Fact. In fact, if you care to know, I will post a photo of that in the community post when we are done. I didn't plan to talk about money in YouTube, so yeah. But I will screen grab the exact amount as of, so in the last 12 months, because YouTube works out the amount in terms of your count in the there's just something about it that is very technical that I don't know. But can you imagine 1,100 videos across all platforms, right? I'm making barely £42. You're like, what? Like, what does that even look like? So I say that to say the viewer, your favorite creator, and I know, like, this is not me like saying anything about the people who make, there is room for people who make millions. And like I said, my failing quality is that I haven't like gone and pursued how to make the millions. Okay, I haven't yet, but who knows, I might do. But I also say that to say that if you have your favorite creator telling you how they will show you how to win at YouTube, they're selling you a dream, okay? Because the amount of work, nothing will ever make a shortcut to YouTube. It will, like, the shortcut and the tricks doesn't work. What will work on YouTube for you will be the passion. The thing that you know, whether you're paid or you're not paid, you're still doing it. And that is where my comfort is. But if it were for the money, I wouldn't be here. Because £40.98. I couldn't even justify it per minimum wage. Because if I was doing a minimum wage job, I think I'll be paid £13 per hour. So standing here for an average of an hour and a half, up to 4 times a week, that is what? That is 6 to 8 hours of work. Not forgetting the long form of edits and other things. Like, it's crazy. But that's just by the way. These platforms are crazy. These platforms are just, they're being tricky and they're just wild these days. But that is beside the point, people. It's 5 to 4. Check the community post for more updates, okay? Like I said, this is my 3rd live video for the week. My commitment for the live's done. There should possibly be a long form video out tomorrow, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be back on the weekend with some sort of video. Dawn, Dawn, it is shocking. It's beyond shocking, but it doesn't shock me. It is because the way YouTube started has changed. Okay, like in the time of living crisis, people expect post COVID, and especially in the economy we are in, people's expenses, money is tight for everybody, and so when money is tight, people are not spending as much, and it affects the ad value. Are there going to be industries where ad value will always remain? Yes. If we want to get in, I know that the people who watch me don't care about the business of YouTube, so I don't talk about it. But YouTube as a business is very, very technical, right? Because for me as a cake maker, I think the amount a brand is willing to pay YouTube, which is the ad spend, an advertiser is going to put on my video, is going to be way significantly less. We're talking an average of £3, and then YouTube is going to take 45% of that £3. So even if YouTube was splitting that £3 50-50 with me, it means that my take home from YouTube after an ad spend is paid to YouTube is about £1.50, which is UK pounds anyway. And that £1.50 is for 1,000 views. And my long form content do not even reach 1,000 at this moment in time. I think I'm averaging about 200 to 300 views, but that's not like me dumping on YouTube. That is probably also because I haven't figured out the strategy to invite the views. But what I do know is that I am providing you the value in terms of the information. So there is some skills I have to polish up, but it is so technical and so overwhelming that even though I know it is my failing value, I can't be bothered to do it. Because the moment my mindset starts shifting about the views, then I forget about my interaction with you over here. There is something about heart and mind that doesn't work on YouTube. If I pivot and I start focusing, like I get myself a YouTube coach who helps me hack the system and then teaches me, then suddenly I will not be inclined to give you the generic passionate content that I give you. So I'm giving you the generic passionate content because it's easier for me and it's something I will do even in my sleep. But if I came and I was delivering you some value because it gives the views, I am scared it will make me miserable. I don't know. Maybe that's on me. So it is incredibly shocking the way YouTube has changed. But I think the part that actually is annoying more than anything is how YouTube is kind of discouraging or in a way affecting viewerships. For instance, the notifications don't come out to you, the subscribers, anymore, so you don't even know I am here. That becomes a problem because with a core audience that actually register their interest all the time, if YouTube don't notify them, you are not able to know that I'm here, right? But it's part of the course. So I say all that to say that I sincerely, with all that change and everything happening, I'm sincerely grateful for those of you who continue to stick by me, those of you who show up for me, and those of you who just stay loyal, not necessarily for the content, but just because you genuinely want to support the channel. I sincerely appreciate that, and I just want you to know that. In light of the changes and everything, look, I will tell you now, I'm not discouraged, okay? It is disheartening, yes. I'm not discouraged. If anything, when problems arise, see above the problem and find a solution. And the solution here is that it has never been more important to deliver value. Because if I still come here and I show you how to fix your cake problems, maybe the walk will take a long time to get to where we're going, but eventually we'll get there. But the goal is to have fun whilst we're on the journey. And to be honest, whether YouTube is promoting the view to one person, look, we've been in the chat where there's been 2 people. Mina, when I came on the live, there was just me and Mina. Whether I'm serving an audience of 1, 10, or 100, I am still the same because I like cake. I'd be talking to an old lady at the bus stop about cakes. I'd be boring Albert to death, his 5-year-old self to death about cakes. My neighbors will be hell of annoyed with me about cakes. And it's the same, whether I'm talking to you, just one person, to 100 people or 1,000 people. The small difference though is that with the slow growth of everything and the changes happening, it might take a little while before some of our bigger goals will be achieved. So maybe, just maybe, I have to figure out a way out of my head and my fears so that we can reestablish ourselves while still delivering value. But that is something that will develop with time. In the meantime, always, always, always grateful to have you for your time, your commitment, your loyalty, your support, and kindness. And I hope as time goes on, we continue to do that. So a happy baking, people. Love you to the moon and back. I'll see you on the next one.